Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Onechanbara. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and this is an interesting and engaging text scroll. Not really. But it does link up the two sides of the story that we've seen, and it serves as a stopgap for this video's opening level, which does kinda start with a bang, so it's better to do it this way. Plus, it gives me a chance to explain myself. I've knocked the difficulty down a little bit for this stage, because it's the opposite of a boss fountain, whatever that term would be. Because this stage is, as far as I can tell, specifically designed to drain your healing items. And that's kind of a dick move, especially since the previous stages drained all your EXP as well. But, what the hell, it's a pretty fun little stage all told. Also, I love that line of logic. I saw an explosion and I knew it would be my sister. It's the kind of thing that my sister would say about me sometimes. You know, that and Andy, you are being a huge geek, stop it. That's why she's pretty cool. That and the secret geekery of her own. Okay, we're coming to the end of this, so I will see you guys on the other side of the loading screen. Oh man, we've got a motorbike! It's like that one bit from the movie, which you have all seen, right? Yeah, exactly. So you can weave side to side if you want, you can do a 180 if you are completely insane, because there's literally no reason to do that, because this level is just a straight line dash to the north. And when some enemies come up, B button to wheelie! And that kills anything you hit in one go. Now, there is an achievement for getting a chain of 100 kills, and you will either do that in this stage, or in survival mode. I got it in this stage pretty easily, because just look at it! And it's weird, because this is not an easy stage sometimes. You've seen how I've lost a bunch of health, comparatively. As far as I can tell, that's unavoidable damage. That's why I said this on easy mode. The enemy damage scales, so that you have to use a lot more healing items on the harder difficulties. And you have to get really lucky with the enemy placement. Oh yeah, you should also be kind of careful with your sword. You can't clean it in this stage, but the blood slows it down anyway. Again, kind of a dick move. But as I say, it's just a straight line dash from one end to the other, so with a bit of luck you'll be fine. And I have to be almost there, right? Okay, there we go. You have to do a wheelie when you finish the stage. It's kind of like doing a whip pose or jumping through the boss door. You have to. Okay, I am pretty sure I accidentally just skipped through the end of stage tune. It's an automatic reflex when you play the game without recording it. I'm not going to go back and redo it. Forget it. It's on film now, you know? Okay, saving complete. Level 6, go! Aya gets a special outfit, and I will be Saki, I think, in her special outfit as well. But first, some talking. The guys who made this game put a surprising amount of effort into the plot for such a silly and trashy little game. Although with that said, there is kind of a plot hole in this one. I know, you're surprised as I am, right? I can tell through the screen that that's how this is gonna go. So, okay, in this line of dialogue, Aya is surprised that Anna knows who she is. But here's the thing, at this point in the game, the Bikini Samurai Squad has stopped 2 separate zombie outbreaks. I mean, heck, Aya did the first one single-handedly because they hadn't quite worked out the tag team mechanic yet. In fact, in World, they made a movie about the first game, wherein Aya was played by the most famous actress in the world, Ryo Futaba. So, if you're following my line of logic, how does anybody not know who Aya and Saki are? I think it's a shame that D3 have stopped putting Ryo in their games. Although, kinda convoluted, the Onechanbara game on the PS3 has a character called No No No, and she originally starred in a game alongside Ryo Furuba. So, I mean, D3 still have her, they're just not using her as the default, we need a placeholder character, like Nintendo did with Mario. Because God forbid we have an original thought and develop an interesting IP from it. He says as he plays a shovelware boobsploitation game. Alright, scene's over. See you on the other side of the loading screen. If there is one. Let's find out! And there was! Hey, folks! So this is Aya's special outfit. And that's an effect colloquially known as Gynaxing. Probably should have opened the video with that, not 5 minutes of talking or whatever. Okay, before we go on, I am going to give Aya the strength bracelet, which increases her strength, surprisingly. And I'm going to push on. We begin the level and right into a loading screen. Wonderful! You know, it's weird how overt Aya's special outfit is, because usually she's quite sensible in terms of jiggle physics. It makes sense to me. I mean, she has a reasonably sized bust, and breasts don't work that way even if they are big. But with this outfit, it's kinda crazy. Now this area, I believe, is a case of killing everyone rather than just the mudmen, so let's see how that works out for me. Because I say just the mudmen, I have this unnatural aversion to the word just because of the way that people use it. I think it is one of the worst words in the world. Like, oh, you're fat? Well, just stop eating so much. You're depressed? Well, just cheer up. Like, what the hell? Just. And you know, now as I come to think of it, this map seems awfully familiar. There was a parking lot stage in Zombie Hunters 2, but they wouldn't recycle a map from the previous generation, would they? I'm gonna have to look into that. Anyway, the area is cleared, so let's tag in Saki and push on. And not even get revenge on whoever just shot me. Ain't even mad. I need to grapple one of these guys. You'll do. Yeah! I love that move. And while with your breather, this is Saki's special outfit. I don't know if it's a reference to anything in particular, or just, you know, schoolgirl fetish. Whatever it is, let's ignore it, and let's push on. Now we're coming up on another arena, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean my blade, and I'm going to give Saki splatter control, I think. Splatter control makes the berserk bar raise much, much slower than it normally would. Especially since I have the fully leveled up version of the bracelet. And you see, that's where I've sunk the majority of my 60 plus hours of playtime, getting and leveling up the accessories, along with the time-consuming achievements. And do you know what? It's kind of weird, because usually that would feel like an insane level of grinding to me. But I actually had a lot of fun playing this, and I still do. I guess I just have a soft spot for the B titles on various consoles, you know? It's like The Suffering. It's hardly a AAA blockbuster, but definitely one of the games that I have played the most. Definitely one of my favorites. Although on that topic, I kind of feel like I need to address something. I mentioned a little while back I have a copy of Walking Dead Survival Instinct. Now, the guy in the store didn't want to sell it to me. He said he would sooner send me away with nothing than sell me this game, right? Oh, come on, game. See, this is why I don't like to use the Stinger. Say pausing does not flow well into the attack chain, but slicing those bullets in two was pretty neat, however. Love it. I think I'm going to tag in Saki. Make this fight a little bit easier. Just cutting some space. There we go. So yes, Survival Instinct. I played it 3 or 4 times to 100% completion, and it's alright. It's only alright, and probably at the lower end of alright, but I mean, it didn't cause me or my 360 to have a meltdown like everyone else told me it would. Oh, and how about that? I knew bringing out Saki was a smart thing to do. Correlation equals causation. And I've just noticed how badly I need to heal up Aya, so let's go ahead and do that, how about? There is a holy statue on this map, but it's a little out of the way, so we'll heal Aya, bring out Saki again. And I think this is probably the first stage where you'll want to pay attention to the splatter gauge, just to make sure you don't go berserk, because this stage is huge. And I think that even if you follow the direct route through the stage, which I am doing, this is one of the longest levels in the game. Although admittedly, the odds are kinda stacked against me a little bit in this stage because I'm playing on a higher difficulty, so the enemies like to drop blood instead of EXP, and there's more collateral damage anyway, but yeah, whatever, just keep an eye on that red bar, yo. And you know, something I love about Saki's Blade Beam, it's a ranged special move that you can direct. Now compared to Anna, who just fires in a single direction whether or not she's hitting anything. Now, there's another character who has a special attack that you can't direct, and she's a little weaker for it, but do you know what? We'll talk about her when we get to it. Was that one particularly violent? It looked like she was mad that time. Oh, yeah. One last thing I forgot to mention. Saki can grapple literally every enemy in the game. Even bosses, which gets pretty ridiculous at certain points in the game. The only problem is you have to hit the boss characters from behind, and the timing is weird. So you will do more damage just hitting them with your sword. And that's one of the things that I think kind of speaks to this game's strengths and weaknesses. The technical wrestling system is great, but the brute force option is sometimes the best. Denied! I saw you coming to get me! Never seen that before. I love when something old shows me something new. You know, it's one of the reasons I still enjoy playing LSD as much as I am. That, and frankly, it's really easy to do videos of that, because you don't need to concentrate on what's happening like you do when you play this. Oh, no you don't. I mentioned before, one of the ways of killing these guys is called the swallow dance. If you dodge the enemy at the same time the enemy is attacking you, you get a little bullet time sequence. And if you attack during or immediately afterwards, then you do a really powerful strike that hits and kills every non-boss enemy in front of you. It's kind of like the suicide attack, but you get to keep your health, and you feel super cool while you're doing it. And that's something the Onechanbara games, and this one in particular, do really, really well. They are good at giving you attacks that make you feel super cool when you manage to pull them off. I think a good example is Aya's cool combo. Like, the whole chain is 12 hits long, give or take, and when you do the final hit, they stop time for a couple seconds, just to let you savor the amazing thing that you were about to do. Oh, and speaking of which, man, how cool did that look? And it got me the key at it. I feel like I need to drop the mic and walk away, you know? But not really, because then nobody gets to hear my dulcet tones. Also, I'm using a headset, so I can't really drop it. Oh. I thought there was a loading screen there. That's why I kind of trailed off at the end. I was leaving space to cut out. Alright, this one is the loading screen. See you on the other side. If you're playing through the game without a super powerhouse like I'm doing now, this room is where you'll start to feel the pinch on your items. Especially when you consider the previous stage was designed to make you use all your healing items. And looking at it, I've actually taken a fair amount of damage compared to usual. earth does that come from? See, now this is one advantage of playing the game with hugely buffed characters. My health gauge is about 4 times as long as it is when you start the game, so even on the harder difficulties, most enemies can't put much of a dent in your armor. I think about the only time you're going to have any trouble is, I think, the motorbike stage, obviously, and any time you come up against the boss. But you can still win through those with a lot of practice. I did. I'm actually not going to cure Aya just now. The boss fight is right around the corner, and I feel she is best fought with Saki, so while she gets her health back up, let's go. No, first, I'm going to show you this. First, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to kill this dog, and I'm going to show you this some other time. Probably wasn't even that cool anyway. Alright, let's go. Oh, hey, Skybox. How you doing? You want to load the rest of the level for me? There we go. Oh, hey, Anna. Where did you come from? And where did our clothes go? What a mystery. And if I could just say, I love Misery's idle animation. It's very subtle, but the designers are telling you that something is not right here. The fact that she's swaying rather than standing shows that she's not entirely right in the head, and I love that. And we're back. Misery is a boss that can give you a lot of grief, but only if you let her. I'll see if I can demo that as we play, but... Oh yeah, also on the harder difficulties, she's surrounded by minions. You'll probably want to clear out some, but not all of them, just to give yourself some breathing space. So, interestingly enough with this character... Oh, and how about that? I actually managed to do the dodge roll. Well done. Interestingly, the Misery fight is a lot like the Saki fight from the first 2 games. Mainly because she can do the blade beam. I sure hope this is targeting her. Whoa! No, it isn't. Okay. So yeah, Misery also fights like Saki, but also like Eva from the second game, because she can reach across the entire map in a single sweep of the sword. And as you've seen, she also has crazy amounts of knockback. Okay, so the reason you don't want to get too close to her is because of her ecstasy move. She fires 2 to 5 blade beams in a wide arc in front of her. Unless you are stood close to her, when you get hit with all 5 blade beams in one go, and it's pretty much instant death. And was that her cry from the blade beam? I don't know, so let's back off. If she did it, I didn't see it. So, let's get back to it. Usually, I only use Saki for the bosses because I'm better at her cool combo, so I can do more damage more consistently. As evidenced by the fact I'm getting pretty consistently kicked around. But... Alright, you can go! Because I am sick of getting shot at. And hopefully that will let me get in the few shots I need to just finish her off. Game? Okay. I didn't see the finishing shot that did that, but whatever. Let's not knock it, it worked. I use that logic a lot at work as well. Don't knock it, it worked. So, the good news is that we won. The bad news is that in winning, we also kinda lost. Yeah, for reasons so important to the plot they don't even merit explaining, Misery has the ability to absorb the power of baneful blood. And we just created our own worst enemy. Good job breaking it, hero. Now they say here that Misery's sword is designed to scrape the blood out of people's wounds, which is a lovely thought, but originally she was going to have Eva's sword from Zombie Hunters 2. They changed it to an original weapon because kinda doesn't make sense for Misery to have Eva's sword. So yeah, we are kinda screwed now. Join us next time to see where the game goes from here. You want my guess? It's boobs. Let's find out next time. And until next time, goodbye!